True story. Just yesterday, a young black guy on my job, around 20-some years old, he called me the N-word, and I got upset, and I told him, I warned him, I said, don't call me the N-word. So he didn't quite understand why I was upset about him calling me the N-word. And I said, let me tell you a little story. I said, back in the early 1980s, my parents moved us to an all-white town in North Carolina. I was around 12 years old, okay? And within days of moving to this town, we saw Ku Klux Klan newsletters and all kind of crap in our front yard every day, okay? So my younger brother and I, we were like, why would our parents move us to an all-white town like this? We didn't understand. So, but in the midst of all that, you know, I met two cool little white dudes, and they told me where I can go ride my BMX bike and skateboard and all this kind of stuff. Anyway, I went there, had a good time, and I left. And when I left there, I was by myself riding my bike back home. I was riding, all of a sudden a car jumped the curve. It was two older white men. Jumped out of the car and said, where you going, N-word? I looked and they said, take your ass back where you come from, you little N-word. And the taller one, he took and looked in my eyes with so much hate, and he spit directly in my face and called me the N-word again. And they left. They didn't touch me, but they left. I remember wiping my face off, and I got back on my bicycle and I started riding back home, and I cried. I cried. There was nobody there to protect me. This was done to a 12-year-old kid. And I remember, I told myself, I said, when I become a man, I would never allow any fucking body to call me the N-word. I don't give a damn you black, white, Asian, Puerto Rican. I don't give a damn who you are. People are brainwashed. There's nothing cool about using that N-word. You're fucking brainwashed. Wake the fuck up.
Man, don't call him the N-word, mate. It'll snap your neck.
That was really sad.
I mostly agree with him.
That's really sad to watch.
I mostly agree with him. That word has a lot of like blood and suffering and just endless, untold amount of pain attached to it. And I kind of look at it in the same way. You know when girls call each other bitches? There's no way around it. Like, calling each other bitches is stupid. It's a dumb thing to do.
Bitch.
Yeah, it's not an endearing thing. Like, you know when they go, what up, bitch? I'm just like, I always look sideways at that. And I've always kind of looked sideways at the N-word as well. I've gone out of my way, especially now that I'm older, to not use it because it is an ugly word. I wouldn't tell other black people not to use it because, you know, I don't compel people to speak however they want. They can say whatever they want. But for me personally, I agree with this guy. I wasn't born in a time where there was slavery or any of that stuff. But I've definitely been on the receiving end of, you know, racial insults, as most black people have. At some point, they've encountered somebody. And that word comes from a really, really nasty point in our history. And I understand when people say, oh, you know, we reappropriate it, so it's an endearing term. It's to like see someone as family or brother, but it's just a nasty word. It was a way that they spoke down to us, you know, when they had us in chains. And I don't know if a word like that should be reappropriated or just completely buried. I mean, we could acknowledge that it existed so that it's not repeated. But I don't know if saying it over and over again doesn't really make much sense. I mean, if I was a racist white person and I heard other black people calling themselves the N-word, I might look at them and go, oh, they're doing the work for me. You know, like it's such a nasty, disgusting word that they use to put black people down. How could you even reappropriate that to want to use it?
When you really listen to what he was saying and you're hearing the pain of what he's personally been through and why it affects him, it makes sense. Do you know what I mean? But maybe other people haven't had that personal experience like he's had, so they're not understanding. Like, of course, everyone knows about the history, but they're not feeling that same emotion that he's felt of actually being called that to your face and knowing it's come from a place of complete racism as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like it's from a period of time that, you know, it's 500 years of pain and suffering, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. I don't know the exact numbers, but there's a lot of time of black people in chains and that word being used to really put us down. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I haven't rapped along to rap songs or like I've been with my black friends and we haven't said it. But as I've gotten older and I've learned more about black history and some of the lies that have been told to us and some of the things that I found out, I have moved away from using it. I don't really use it any. Like, you've never heard me say it before.
No,
like,
I actually haven't heard you say it not once.
Yeah, I think I might have said it once around you, but that was in context of the "I Love You Black Guy" video.
Oh yeah, you did. Yeah.
But just in my day-to-day like vocabulary and like how I communicate with other black people, I don't use that word because I agree with him. It is a nasty, disgusting word. It came from a bad time.
It came from a bad place. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not like other swear words. Like, I take issue with girls calling each other bitches. I mean, I would never say anything to a girl, but I find that shit ridiculous. So if I find that ridiculous, then I'm gonna find this much worse.
Yeah, because it's the notion of a negative concept behind anything. Do you know what I'm saying? These words are being used in a negative way.
Yeah.
Like, for example, if you're calling a girl a bitch, you're using that in a negative way. I mean, that's like me just walking around calling everyone a C word all day long. People are not going to tolerate that.
Yeah, that's a nasty word as well. I mean, it's not a term of endearment. I don't think you can reappropriate that as a term of endearment. And I do feel sorry for him. Like, I can only imagine the black people that came before us, how much they had to deal with. And it's definitely not as prominent now. You know, you don't have those sort of things really happening anymore in most first world places. But yeah, I mostly agree with him, man. Like, I don't think it's a good idea that we continue using that word as a community. Yeah, I don't really have much else to say about it. It's kind of sad to see that much anger. I mean, don't call him the N word to his face. He'll tear your throat out.
But you could really see and hear the pain in his voice as well.
And he wasn't even born into the worst period of it. Like, my ancestors and his ancestors went through unimaginable amounts of pain. So
them two white men that done that to him have literally scarred him for life, because he was young. He said he was like, what, 12?
Yeah.
They've literally scarred him and impacted him to the point where he is like, how many years on, still so emotional about it.
Yeah, well, I mean, people are free to use whatever words they want. We're not making this video to dictate to anybody how they should speak. It's just my thoughts on it. You know, as a person of partially black descent, I don't like the word very much. I don't like it being said to me, and it's been said to me a few times, and I brush it off because I'm not going to tell another black guy how to speak. You know what's weird? I've had it said to me from Pakistani guys a lot. It seems to be like a normal thing. I don't really get that. I'm not really entirely sure why. That's happened quite a lot. I'm not entirely sure, but
Michael just doesn't like swear words in general.
Yeah, I don't really swear much. You know, it takes, I mean, actually in the last video I was swearing quite a bit.
Me on the other hand, yeah, I know, I was quite shocked hearing you say the F word,
Yeah,
but
I was getting pissed off.
I swear a lot. I need to stop.
Yeah, it's not becoming of a lady.
It's not cute.